Hey guys, my name is Jericho and I am a product manager, and I just kind of wanted to take this time to talk about how I managed to break into product. Prior to this role, I was actually a product designer, and one of the things that I've noticed is that there are not many product managers who discuss moving from a product design role into a product manager role. And so I thought to kind of share how my transition was like, because there are some similarities, there are some overlaps. And so, if you're a product designer hoping to transition into product, I really hope this is something that will help. One of the thing that I do wanted to double down on in this video is this key skills that I took from being a product designer that helped me to become an effective product manager. And therefore, there are 4 key skills that helped me out tremendously, and I'll start out talking about is user interviews. User interviews is kind of UX research method where a UX researcher, or maybe even be a product in some companies, product designer, or even product manager, sits down with key users and starts to discuss a particular area of interest. So it could be around their current processes. It could be around how they view a particular software that they're using. That could be your competitors, or it could be criteria they have if they were to make a purchase of a particular clothing, for example, right? So really, user interviews are really like a formal one-on-one conversation with your key users. What I found really great as a product designer who's had experience with these sort of conversations, I was able to sit down with our key users and really understand their needs and pain points. Was where you really want to get, where the bread and butter is of user interviews. It's understanding their needs, understanding their pain point, understanding whether the software solution that you have is solving a problem. Because really what you want is for you to be that go-to solution for a particular problem. So they do keep on coming back to you. So that's one thing that was really helpful and beneficial. Having an understanding of user interviews and being able to conduct them competently. Another skill that was helpful as a product manager that I took from my product designer skills was developing personas. After a number of these user interviews you have with your key users, where you start to see a trend of type of responses, then you can start to build out personas, which are basically archetypes of your target users. If I was to be purchasing let's say if I was a consumer trying to purchase clothing, some of the things that you may want to identify in these kind of archetypes, which are price sensitivity, budget, interested in online shopping and really don't care about in-person shopping, or vice versa. So you start to develop these kind of dynamic characters, archetypes that you can refer to, and as you continue to build out or continue to conduct more user interviews, you start to update your personas and start to develop hypotheses of their needs and their pain points as a consumer buying a particular clothing item, just for example. So that's point number 2. Point number 3 is usability tests. Usability tests are essentially a form of one-on-one session where you actually present, whether it be a post-production software or even designs via Figma. Really what you're doing is sitting down with them and saying, hey, can you perform these particular tasks? And you as a product manager, product designer, UX researcher would list out these tasks for them to do, and they would try to do them. And really as they're going through them, you're understanding where they're getting stuck, if they are. You're understanding why they're doing things, and again, this is also not only like kind of here's a task to do it, but it's also some conversation to understand why they're getting stuck, to understand why they're clicking where they're clicking, to understand if this is something if this is a process or a flow that they would see themselves incorporating on their day-to-day. And really, what's the point of this? The point of this is to make sure that your software is solving their needs. It's to extract the good parts of your software and the bad parts, and to see how do we start to improve and iterate on the software. So that's really the purpose of a usability test. Fourthly is journey maps. So journey maps is another tool, a UX tool, where you start to display a user's full process of a particular task. For example, if I want to buy a black Nike t-shirt, what is my step-by-step process to purchase a Nike black t-shirt? Am I going straight to Google and going to the Nike website? Or am I first looking for particular fits? So am I going to Instagram and seeing my favorite influencers, micro-influencers, to get some inspiration? So maybe that's the first step. And let's say, for the sake of example, I do go to IG, Instagram, and look at some of my favorite influencers and seeing how they're starting to mix and match the outfit. And maybe I have an idea of what type of Nike tee I'm going for. Black tee, the swoosh is right in the middle, for example. And so I start to search this particular t-shirt on Google. What do I do next? Am I going to the Nike store? Am I going to Nordstrom Rack? Am I going to Target? What particular shops am I going for? Am I being price sensitive? So am I going to the sales section to see what's there, or am I going straight to the full price items? Do I add it to cart? Am I paying attention to shipping costs, or am I really checking out and not really being too cognizant of how much the total price is, or am I? There's some of these considerations that a user goes through that you want to capture. And so that's exactly what the journey map accomplishes, being able to capture all of a particular flow, and what they go through, what is the emotions that they're experiencing at in each particular, milestone of that journey. If you're seeing fits, positive emotion, I want that, they're being inspired. They're seeing the shipping costs, maybe, they don't like what they see, so there's trace of negative emotion. Maybe there's some commentary around, and maybe you want to add some commentary on what the user is feeling, and really you're getting these sort of key insights from the user interviews. So these are actually really connected, these different individual kind of skills that I've listed. But I'll go into that later. But focusing on the journey maps. These journey maps are detailed visual tools for you to understand your key user's process. And so that's a very powerful tool, particularly if you want to know where a user's getting stuck in their current process, where they're starting to have the highest pain points, where you could start to focus your energy on with your software solution. And also, just thinking about all these tools that I've mentioned, user interviews, the persona, the usability tests, the journey maps, these are all important tools when it comes to talking with the other departments, sales, marketing, logistics and operations, where you start, because as you guys are moving to the same goal, to the same kind of like key objectives, grounding your arguments, grounding your particular vision for the product based on what a user experiencing is extremely powerful. And so that's really what you're bringing to the table with these 4 skill sets as a product manager. And this is particularly a strength that you can have coming in if you were a product designer, or if you had product design experiences. And so yeah, just to really wrap things up, there's a lot of overlap from being a product designer to being a product manager. While these 4 that I've listed out as everything that you need to be an effective product manager. Is at least some of the skills that you need to be an effective product manager. So yeah, if this is something that you found helpful, please let me know in the comment section below. If there are any particular topics around product design, product management that would be helpful, comment that as well. But as a first video, I really hope you guys enjoyed it. Thank you.